We're here now with MEV, who are right next door to CKC in the little hall at the end. And they're also running outside the live experience where people can jump in a car and basically be terrified. So I'm with Stuart, who's the owner. Now, the Exocet, that's a car that's been with us a little while, isn't it?
Yes, it first came out 2009, 2010. Stuart Mills originally designed it, and the concept was taking the MX-5, taking the body off it and dropping a space frame chassis on. Since 2010, 2011, it's been evolving into what we've got here.
Yeah, and the big evolution is the car right in front of us here, which has got a bit different under the bonnet to everything else in this hall.
It has, yes.
Yeah, tell us about what you've done to it.
Well, we completed the Mark III donor using the MX-5 NC, and looked at it and looked at the RX-8 and thought there was quite a few components that are shared. And we said, well, let's get one and see what fits. So we stripped an RX-8 down, exactly the same concept as the MX-5, monocoque chassis, lift the body off, you're left with all the running gear. We put our chassis up to it and made some tweaks and bolted it together.
So this, rather than being a MX-5 Exocet with a rotary engine, this is a complete RX-8 car front to back.
Exactly, yes. So we've taken everything in the same way we do with the MX-5, taken everything from the donor and used it in this car. So the engine, the gearbox, the diff, the power plant frame, the prop shaft, all the brakes, all the wheels, everything transfers over. A couple of things we found didn't fit, such as the exhaust manifold. Far too wide to fit in the transmission tunnel, so we've made a custom stainless steel manifold, and the fuel tank, because the RX-8 uses a saddle tank underneath the rear seats. There was no way that was going to fit in this.
No, you haven't got any rear seats to start with, so that does sort of limit it. Yeah.
So what we did, we designed an aluminium tank for that.
Okay.
It's all included with the kit that we offer. It's all included in the price.
So the kit you're offering for this, and this is up ready, and you can come and buy one now.
Yep.
Is a complete kit. Basically add your RX-8 to it and off you go.
Exactly that, yeah.
Okay. And compared to the original Exocet, what sort of performance can people expect on this one?
Next level. So the RX out of the box, if you go for the high powered one, is 231 horsepower. It revs to just over 9,000 RPM, and it just takes off. The power delivery is very linear, so it will just keep revving and keep pulling all the way up to the red line. The 0 to 60s, we were looking low 4 seconds with the road chassis, with the lighter chassis. And yeah, top speed is probably about 145.
Oh, wow. There is one slight elephant in the room for me when we talk rotary engines.
Yep.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this one.
Yeah.
It's because, let's be honest, most RX-8s get scrapped, not because the body's gone rusty or anything like that. It's because someone's hit problems with the engine. Yeah. I would guess as it's been a lighter car, it's probably put under less stress. But I guess the crucial thing with this is buying the best donor you can with a good engine.
Well, there's two ways to look at it. The whole problem with the original RX-8 was it was sold as a family car. It wasn't sold as a performance car, particularly. So people didn't understand how to use that engine. They don't like being turned on and then turned off. They like to get hot before they're turned off. And then it starts to develop hot start issues, which is what everybody talks about. Yep. And the oil consumption. The oil is designed to be used in the engine to keep the rotor tips cool and lubricated. If that unfortunately has an effect on emissions, which is why they couldn't get them into the Euro 5 and Euro 6, but it's still a Euro 4 compliant car with that setup. So getting a cheap donor with a junk engine is what we did with this car to prove the concept, knowing that a rebuild engine is probably no more expensive than either turbocharging or doing a full blueprint rebuild on a piston engine.
Okay.
For less than £2,000, you can have essentially a brand new engine in there.
Okay. I thought the numbers in my head were a lot bigger than that. So
there's so many companies out there now that are specialising in the rotary engines. We used a gentleman called Pip Gardner, who's been doing it for 40, 50 years. And he knows rotaries inside out from back in the early RX days. So we sent the engine up to him and said, there's the block, do what needs to be done.
Yep.
And yeah, for less than £2,000, we've got now essentially a brand new engine, 231 horsepower dynoed, and it just goes now.
And the other thing is, it's obviously pulling a lot less weight along, and people who are going to spend the time putting these together are going to use the engine right as well. Yep. So you should easily have a good life out of the engine.
Yes, yeah. When we built this car, the brief was, let's keep as much of the original components, the wiring loom, the ECU, the oil cooler, if we could, to keep the build as simple as possible. With that, it translates to a little bit more weight because it's a lot of wiring loom. But if when we put it on the scales, it came in at bang on 50% the weight of the original car. With a little bit more work on the loom and some of the ancillaries, deleting the air pump and a few other things, that can easily come down to 600 kilos. And 600 kilos in 230 horsepower is a weapon.
Yeah, you're talking 350, 375
Exactly.
horsepower a ton.
Yeah.
So kit price wise, what are we looking at?
5995 plus the VAT. With that, you get the stainless steel manifold and the aluminium fuel tank. Modifications to the original components, such as the prop shaft and the PPF, we will do that as part of the kit. The nice thing about the RX-8 is that not a lot of people realise it's got a carbon fibre prop shaft as well, and that can be modified to use in this kit, which is a nice little feature.
Okay. So competitively priced, lots of power. What's not to like?
Yeah.
Shall we just refresh our memory of the original, or when I say original, but it's the Mark III Exocet. So this is for the Mark III MX-5.
Yes.
Kit price I can see on the window there, £5,000. This has got to be probably, for somebody coming into the kit car, well, one of the easiest to build.
It is, and it's our USP. It's what we market this car as. It is the easiest car to build. You don't need any special tools, any special skills. All the parts retained from the Mazda are bolted straight to this. You don't need custom wishbones or anything like that. It just all works. And for somebody in their garage who wants to get into kit cars but may not have the experience to build one of the more complicated machines, you learn how the car comes apart when you're taking it apart, so you know how it goes back together. So whereas some kits, you get a bag full of nuts and a bag full of bolts and you lay it all out and think, well, where do I start? You start with a running car already and you start taking it apart yourself.
And the great thing with MX-5s is they do like to rust.
Yes,
so
which is ideal.
Yeah.
The donors are coming down in price a lot. We paid about £800 for a Mark III 2-litre Duratec with a 6-speed gearbox with a rotten body. The underpinnings, because Mazda know how to build an engine, the underpinnings were great. Pulled the body off, scrapped it, got a few £100 for the shell, and that all goes towards the cost of the kit.
As you say, what's not to like?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Phil. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.